Okay, we live. Okay, this is awkward occurrence or awkward entertainment. This is awkward occurrence or awkward entertainment. This is going to be an update on Megan Boswell. Well, more information has come out. So this is saying cops are searching camera footage of a KFC. Baby Evelyn may have been seen with the grandmother some weeks back. So let me get right into this. Okay, authorities confirmed they are looking into a tip that the girl was seen with her grandmother, Angela Boswell, who's in jail right now with her boyfriend, at KFC in Yadkinville, North Carolina, within the last couple of weeks. So they're saying within this month they've seen some tip is saying they've seen the girl at KFC with Angela. So they haven't released information on that video. And the little girl has not been seen by family members since mid-December. There's different reports of family members seeing her this day, that month. I believe the great-grandfather said he saw her before Thanksgiving, sometime before Thanksgiving. That would be November. And of course, that's the mother. And they're just going. And they say they are reviewing fast food outlet CCTV from that place. They spoke to some employees. But if that's so, if she was seen at KFC in November with the grandmother, what did the grandmother do with the baby now? So they did lower the bond of William McCloud. Now there was a pond search in North Carolina for Evelyn. Now the reason the pond was searched because the police got tips that Mr. William McCloud was walking around wet that day. And we'll get to that story. But he was walking around wet that day, so they figured one on one he may have put her body in the pond. Turns out her body wasn't in the pond. So that thing, that pond search, brought up no evidence. That's what's that part saying. So that's the pond. And if they say the family fell, well, the mom reported her missing. Here's the thing. Like, if the mom has something to do with it, why would the mom report her missing? Why not just keep her missing? You get what I'm saying? Like, if you got something to do with your daughter being missing, who's not in school or enrolled in school, and she's been missing for a couple months, and you're the only one who's reported her missing, which is Megan Boswell reported her missing. Like, the school didn't report her missing because she's not in school, no daycare, nobody else. So why would they arrest her for? I understand why they arrested her, but why would she report the baby missing if she had something to do with it? Also, she states her mom keeps giving her conflicting stories. She also told the police, well, the baby is with the boyfriend who's in the military. That turned out to be a lie. But then she said the police, the baby went with the grandmother to some campground. That turned out to be a lie. But again, why even say where the baby is at? Why just not keep it as, hey, I reported the baby missing. I don't know nothing. Last seen with the grandmother. So she did not report the disappearance until February 18th. She last saw her daughter on the 26th. In some interviews, Megan doesn't report she saw her daughter. She says, I don't remember the last time I saw her. The last time she says here is the 26th. That's the boyfriend of Megan's grandmother. His bond has been lowered. He's not charged in disappearance. The grandmother is charged with I forget what she's charged with. I know the stolen vehicle thing. I don't know if she had any charges related to the baby being missing. That's Evelyn initially saying the baby was with Ethan Perry. Perry said, "No, I've been in training while I've been in the military. The baby hasn't been with me." That's Megan saying she should have called the first day. You know, everybody got Evelyn's Law and Gannon's Law. Gannon's Law has a petition online. That's to classify anybody under 13 endangered and missing. That's when she said her mother took Evelyn to a campground in Mendota, Virginia. And they searched Mendota, Virginia and found nothing in Mendota, Virginia. And that's her saying she told them where to find her. She said she felt like they weren't taking her serious and she would go look herself. They went and looked and found nothing. I believe they went and looked even before she mentioned it. Because my mom did threaten me, like, if I told anybody, I'm going to get into that. But she said, that's when she was in the interview saying her mom threatened her not to tell nobody or she would hurt her, basically saying she would hurt her. So she claimed the mom took her, then she claimed the dad took her. You should have just said my baby's missing, last seen with my mom. I don't know where they took her. Like, you the one who reported her missing, but you're the one in jail for reporting her missing. This is talking about her false pregnancy. Now, she was on camera in front of the sheriff station talking to the news people from News 5, stating that they couldn't give me a polygraph test because I'm pregnant. Then the station says, well, we don't give polygraph tests. Here go Evelyn. The station says we don't give polygraph tests. Then why was she at the station then? I guess give it another statement. Why would she say something about a polygraph test and claim to be pregnant? Like, come on, lady. She's not the brightest criminal. If she is the criminal, again, if the mom told you don't say anything to the police or I'm gonna hurt you or whatever so it may be, why would you even say the baby could be with your boyfriend or ex? Like, come on. That's them talking about the polygraph test because she is pregnant. They're saying she was never asked to meet us for a polygraph. We never set up any type of interview for her. Who's Cassidy? I guess that's a representative of the sheriff's office. Okay, why was she at the sheriff's office if you never set up any interview for her? That day outside the sheriff's office. So Angela was just the grandmother Megan keeps talking about. She was arrested on related warrants. I think she had a probation violation and something about the car. So I'm skimming through this. The disappearance. Well, the only misinformation is coming from, of course, Miss Megan, who was the one who reported the daughter missing. When nobody else was saying anything about her being missing, they didn't report it. Unless they were going to report it, but they didn't report it. And that's stating, this is just a timeline. The 18th, she reported, herself reported the baby missing. On the 18th. 19th, Amber Alert was issued. Released photos on the 20th. The 21st, that's when the grandmother and the boyfriend were arrested and found in an allegedly stolen BMW. Even though his bond has been lowered, though. So the only one arrested for the disappearance of the child is Megan, but she's arrested for giving false information. And she has a low bond, so she can bond out. They don't have her on anything but giving false information or changing her story. Didn't report her missing. Again, because she was afraid of her grandmother. But she's saying she had left for work the day Evelyn went missing. Let's get more into this. I'm skimming through this. So Angela, the grandmother, was extradited on the 24th. So Megan is not pregnant. She was not due for an interview at the sheriff's office. But why were you at the sheriff's office giving an interview? In that black coat and yellow Tennessee shirt you was arrested in. Same clothes you was arrested in you did an interview with when you said, hey, I'm pregnant. And hey, I came here for a test, but they couldn't give it to me. But the sheriff's office said, well, she wasn't there for a test. She wasn't there for a test or interview. So why was she there then? She's been arraigned in court. She's been given a bond for giving false information. That's talking about the boyfriend being on duty. And again, why report her missing if you knew something had happened to her? You should have just not reported it at all. You wouldn't be in jail. You wouldn't have to do all those interviews. And why were you outside the sheriff's office when you weren't scheduled to have a meeting there at all? Then said you was pregnant. This is the KFC. They're looking at footage, so they're hoping to see baby Evelyn and the grandmother on camera, which still doesn't explain where Evelyn is. Even if they see her on camera, doesn't explain where Evelyn is. That's the mom. That's the grandmother, the gypsy grandmother. That's Evelyn. That's the pond they searched. They searched the pond because they got a tip that the boyfriend, William McCloud, he had wet feet coming into one of the relatives' house. So let's go right over to that story. Let's go right over to that, then I'm in this. Let me see. Now let's back up. Tabs. There we go. But this is from Crime Online. Letitia Stouses did an interview with Crime Online. I wouldn't trust Crime Online far as I can throw them. It's just not very far. Okay, that's them getting into the pond. Okay, let's go to the title. Neighbors says untrue rumors by gossipers promoted pond search for missing Tennessee tot. Well, even so, they would have checked that pond anyway. Some way, somehow, they would have checked that pond anyway. Because tips are tips. Like, if they would have found the baby in a pond, it wouldn't have been rumors, right? So tips are tips. Let's get into why they searched the pond. Now that's McCloud. Now McCloud's grandmother is the dude Angela's boyfriend. The grandmother. The grandmother said people around the area started a rumor that the baby may have been in the pond after seeing McCloud with wet feet. Now the grandmother, I believe, is the one who owns property that sits next to the pond. Yeah. It's owned by the family of William McCloud. Hours before his arrest, William McCloud apparently, before they was found in a BMW with Angela, Mr. McCloud apparently went to his grandmother's house while his feet were wet. Mary McCloud said her grandson told her that a pipe had burst at the motel they were staying. He came there to ask her for gas money. But him having wet feet prompted people who live around the town to gossip. So who saw him with wet feet that day? And at this point, he wasn't indicated in having anything to do with the baby being missing. I don't think he doesn't have anything to do with the baby being missing because he's not charged with that. They don't have anything to lead them to think he has anything to do with it. That's after the search of the pond, they found nothing. And Mary McCloud doesn't think her grandson is devious enough. That's everybody's grandmother. Everybody's grandparents think you're not devious to do something crazy. So where did he go for everybody to see him with wet feet? So he didn't drive the BMW just to his grandmother's house. He went all over. And I guess people in that town or session saw wet feet. And they called it a tip in. And which was still a good tip to me. Hey. How do they know William McCloud is dating Angela? Hey. How do they know William McCloud is dating Angela and Angela is the mom of grandmother Megan? We don't know. Because his arrest came 4 days after Megan filed a report for the police. So within that 4 days, now who knew Mr. William here was dating Megan's grandmother, and that Megan's grandmother has something to do with it, or may have something to do with it. So that would be, you have to go back and look at when Megan gave that interview. Yeah, you have to go back and see when Megan gave her first interview to add up how did they know Mr. William McCloud here knew Angela Boswell. And how would they know that a child is missing if they don't know Mr. McCloud here is dating Angela Boswell, grandmother of Megan, who Megan has a missing daughter, reported her daughter missing. So that's just a little strangeness in the case. Okay, I'm going to get up out of here. But I hope Evelyn is found safe. I really do. Hope Gannon is found safe. And I'm going to get up out of here. This has been Awkward Occurrence for Awkward Entertainment. And I will see you in the next video. And check out my previous video on Megan. We look into Gypsy, what gypsies are all about, or somewhat about, some information. Then we take a look at edited clips from interviews Megan has done. That's on my channel. This has been Awkward Occurrence, Awkward Entertainment, and I will see you in the next video.
Is it that has you so angry? Is it the attackers?
It's the attackers, but it's also the attacks. It's like, at first it was a thing of like, listen, if I tell the truth, then that's it, because it's the truth. Mm-hmm. Then it became a thing of like, oh, how can you doubt that? Like, how do you not believe that? It's the truth. And then it became a thing of like, oh, it's not necessarily that you don't believe that this is the truth.